welcome to Vitaminutes. Today's topic is vitamin C. Worse than sugar? Well, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but it's a good hook. Vitamin C, I often like to warn parents and people who pop the chewables like candy, actually is made up of what they call ascorbic acid. You may have recently heard that in fact the worst substance for your teeth now, the worst beverage, which has replaced colas, is iced teas. This is due to the citric acid content. Citric acid has a pH much similar to ascorbic acid. When you chew ascorbic acid in tablets, the tasty chewable vitamin C's, in fact they're worse on your tooth enamel than pure white sugar. Worse than a sugar cube. Not to mention they can get in the crevices and the cracks of your teeth and just incubate in there and feed bacteria as well as eat away at the tooth enamel. So while sugar offers you no nutrients and in fact steals nutrients, vitamin C does provide nutrients. As far as tooth enamel goes and cavities go, popping chewable vitamin C's can be a problem. Of course, if you brush right afterwards, that's not going to be an issue. And there's another alternative. Aside from ascorbic acid, we have what's called a buffered vitamin C. Calcium ascorbate being one of the more common. And essentially what we do is we react a mineral with the ascorbic acid. So we react calcium with ascorbic acid, we're going to get calcium ascorbate. That can be done with sodium, that can be done with magnesium, zinc. In fact, some products have a mix. Some of the pouches that you might be familiar with that you tear open that are effervescent and you put into your beverage, those in fact include a wide range of ascorbates with some other nutrients. On average, swallowing ascorbic acid is not much of a problem for the average person. If you take 500 milligrams a couple times a day, even 1,000 milligrams 2-3 times a day, that's not really going to be an issue for you. If you want to take higher dosages, if you want to get up to 9,000, 12,000, say you have a bladder infection, a prostate infection, you want to treat an ailment with that therapeutically, then you want to go back to the buffered C. The buffered C won't cause a laxative effect the way ascorbic acid will at the high dosage levels. It won't add to your acid balance, which if you're familiar with the acid-alkaline paradigm, an acid condition in the blood leads to much disease. Refined carbohydrates, sugars, flours, those sorts of things, excessive red meat, those can create an acid environment in the system. The body has to neutralize that acid by pulling minerals out of the bones and using up the minerals that you require for day-to-day functions. Same with taking 9 grams of ascorbic acid. The body's going to have to take some minerals from your body to neutralize that acid. In fact, when a mammal makes vitamin C, it does so in a pH neutral form, closer to alkaline and not acidic at all. So getting a buffered vitamin C is closer to the way that a mammal would produce vitamin C, and we are one of the few mammals on the planet that have lost the ability to produce vitamin C. Therefore, if you were to pick one nutrient out of all the nutrients available to you, the science would be behind vitamin C. I'm not going to discuss the disinformation kind of studies that come out every now and again saying vitamin C can be dangerous or vitamin E can be dangerous. These limited perspectives of limited studies don't look at the whole picture. Every antioxidant, which vitamin C is, has slight pro-oxidant activity, which means it can cause a little bit of damage, but certainly the benefit outweighs any damage that might occur. Now, how much vitamin C should you take? 500 milligrams is the maximum amount you're going to kick up your immune system, raise glutathione levels. You could take 1,000 milligrams, it's not going to raise glutathione anymore. So if you're not into large doses, you really want to take the 500, even an inexpensive 500 calcium or ascorbic acid will be fine, but your advantage is to take the 500 2-3 times a day so that you get your glutathione spike a couple times a day rather than taking 1,000 once and still getting the same limited elevation in immune function. However, there is an advantage to taking more vitamin C, as I mentioned, for fighting infection, if you bruise easily, if you bleed easily, if you're concerned about heart disease. There's some people who believe that vitamin C actually can prevent heart disease, that in fact arteriosclerosis is not much more than an extension of scurvy. Your recommended daily allowance for vitamin C is only about 70 to 90 milligrams, and that's the amount that will prevent scurvy, but it is not the amount for optimal health. Linus Pauling, who was essentially the grandfather of vitamin C and put it on the map in North America, he himself took 18,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C until he died at the age of 92. He also took a shot of vodka and a baby aspirin. But all these things help keep the blood thin, so platelet clumping doesn't occur and the arteries don't start to close down. Because remember, 1 out of 2 of us is going to die of heart disease, statistically. An average mammal our size would produce 12,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. And in fact, science has shown repeatedly that there's no harm to taking up to 10,000 grams a day. There is a thing called rebound scurvy, where the man who takes 10 to 12,000 grams a day, 10 to 12,000 milligrams a day, excuse me, actually will get scurvy faster if he stops than the person that takes 1 to 2 grams a day. So as I generally suggest in the previous Vitaminutes on the B vitamins, it's best to cycle your nutrients. Perhaps you've got some infection in the body, you're working on a condition, you're fighting a cold. You might take a high dosage level for a while, then you might roll that back when you're no longer fighting an infection. Skip the weekends. If you want to take a high dosage level, still skip the weekends. Remind your body it's not prevalent in the environment all the time and the body needs to hoard it a little bit and utilize it a little more efficiently. As well as treating general heart disease or preventing the collection of cholesterol in the arteries, it will elevate HDL, the good cholesterol, and it will lower LDL, the bad cholesterol. An elevation of HDL has other benefits for longevity aside from just helping to prevent heart disease. In fact, high dosage levels are often used to treat cancer at 60 to 70 grams a day. This is done intravenously. They've also used this to treat both alcoholism and heroin addiction in some clinics. So vitamin C has a lot of benefit, a lot of therapeutic use. You and I generally take it just as a preventative, just because we know it helps keep colds and flus in abeyance, and because it helps keep our collagen strong, which means it's also going to help with the joints for anyone with arthritic conditions or anyone with sports injuries. A certain amount of vitamin C at a dosage level of 3 to 6 grams a day is going to be a benefit to helping keep your collagen together as well. Like with most nutrients, as we discussed with the family of Bs, vitamin C does not exist alone in nature. When you take vitamin C, say in an orange, in the white of the orange or the citrus peel is where the bioflavonoids lie. Bioflavonoids are a cofactor of vitamin C and have a synergistic relationship with vitamin C. Together, they each improve the assimilation of the other. When I was young, we often ate the peel of the orange as well as eating the body of the orange. These days, you want to be darn sure it's organic, since the citrus industry is renowned for its pesticide use, and there's often dyes and waxes on citrus fruit as well. In fact, I have seen a litmus test done on an orange that was perfectly juicy and had 0 vitamin C in it because it had been in cold storage for a year, and the vitamin C, being delicate, had dissipated. So vitamin C is a delicate substance, and in the summer when you're getting fresh fruits and vegetables, you can probably get a reasonable amount from your diet. But I do advocate that it's one of the nutrients that we supplement with on a semi-regular basis at least. Flavonoids are generally taken for things like varicose veins, hemorrhoids, spider lines, easy bruising again. They're particularly renowned for strengthening the veins of the capillaries. Now vitamin C with the flavonoids can enhance that ability. In the old days, people simply took just rutin, which is one bioflavonoid. You can see products with just generic citrus bioflavonoids. Now, unless they list the active amount of flavonoid, a certain percentage, we don't know how biologically active those flavonoids are. Flavonoids such as hesperidin and rutin and quercetin all have proven biological activity, and it's best to have your flavonoids defined. Now, the pigment in pretty much any fruit or vegetable, the coloring, generally constitutes a flavonoid. So blueberries, all the berries tend to be extremely rich in flavonoids. And they have a powerful antioxidant effect too, which again supplements the antioxidant effect of the vitamin C. Quercetin especially is a dramatic anti-inflammatory and can be used to control asthmatic conditions and hives and allergic responses. Quercetin is both an antioxidant and an anti-cancer agent, as well as being an anti-inflammatory. So it's one of the superior flavonoids to use.